Hey folks, welcome to the show. April 26th, 2023. My name's Tom Coffey. And as always, I'm streaming live on rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live. You can always find me there and on the YouTubes. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to all our hearts. Childhood memories. Now, I know what you're thinking, Tom. What could be wrong with our childhood memories? They're precious. They're innocent. They're untouchable. Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because sometimes the things we learned as children were just plain wrong. And today, we're going to challenge those beliefs because, let's be real, folks, sometimes we got it wrong. And by sometimes, I mean most of the time. Now, let's start with the classic, the alphabet song. We learned it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? You know the tune. Do you know it was actually borrowed from something like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? That's right. ABC's song is just a remix. Oh, and hold on. What if I told you that that was actually popularized, the melody, by Mozart? What? Yeah. And the American National Anthem? That's a remix too. It was an English drinking song. Now, science, it's fair game. Remember when they told us Pluto was a planet? Well, turns out that was just a temporary designation. Now Pluto is a dwarf planet. Is that what it is today? Let's not forget about the great egg debate. Are they good for you? Are they bad for you? Seems like every few years the experts change their minds. But here's the thing, folks. Questioning what we learned as kids isn't about tearing down our memories or devaluing our past. It's about growth. It's about progress. It's about admitting that sometimes we got it wrong. And the next time you're singing the ABC song as you're alphabetizing things, right? Remember, there's more to the tune than meets the ear. Next time you're debating the merits of religion or science, remember there's always room for questioning and growth. Because sometimes we learned it wrong as a kid. Now remember, if you learn something today, it's probably because you learned it wrong in the past. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. All right. That's not the picture I want, but that's the picture I have. How about that? Get rid of that. Okay. My goodness. Get it together, Tom. Get it together. Yes. Challenging. I need a tad more time between my monologue and at the start of the show so I can get it all set. I need a tad more time. I think it's like 6 seconds. I got to make it 12 seconds. I think I can get it right. Anyway, we're talking about challenging childhood beliefs. I do have a great show. Lots of stories to get to today. You're going to want to stick around for that. But we're talking about childhood beliefs. I got a couple that came up recently, but one happened to me just as I was putting together this show. I was trying to think, what am I going to talk about? And I said, maybe I'll do something about it. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And it turns out I had that totally wrong my whole life. Okay? What I didn't realize is that a goose is female and a gander is a male. I didn't know that. For whatever reason, I thought gander was like a group of geese, you know, like a murder of crows or whatever. And I thought a gander was a group. And so the expression made sense to me. What's good for one goose is good for all the geese. But that's not right. What the expression is what's good for the female is also good for the male. Now, probably with some people today, they 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 might find that expression problematic. Not me. But yeah, I just learned that a gander is male, a goose is female. I've been wrong my entire life on this. And one of the reasons is because when you learn something as a kid and you never, ever question it, well, then you're just stuck with those beliefs. And so I had this belief that I picked up in probably kindergarten, right? And I just learned it wrong. I've been wrong my whole life about this expression. I've used the expression countless times, and I've been using it wrong. Crazy. And that's the thing, is we have to think, are we really sure what we believe? Because if we learned it when we were 6 years old, maybe we got a little bit of it wrong. I'll give you one more example. This was funny. I was walking around college, I remember this, with a friend of mine. We were walking by the engineering building, and I thought to myself, my grandfather was an engineer, and my entire life, up until that point when I was, 18 or 19 or something, I heard my grandfather was an engineer when I was a kid, and the only engineer that I was aware of is the guy that drove the train. So up until that moment in life, I thought my grandfather drove a train. And it wasn't until then, when I was looking at the College of Engineering, realizing that engineers were more than just a train conductor, right? It was that moment that I realized that up until that point, I'd been wrong my entire life. I thought my grandfather drove a train. Instead, he built bridges. So, what do you know? And so that's what it is. We assume that what we learned the first time, we got it right. And so often, we got it wrong. So that's what I want you to think about today. We've got a great show, lots of different topics. So first, let's go around the globe and let's go to some news out of Iran. An Iranian court has ordered the U.S. government and several individuals and entities, including former President Barack Obama, to pay compensation for the 2017 attacks in Tehran carried out by ISIL. The court said $9.95 million needed to be paid to compensate for financial damages, while $104 million and $199 million were for moral and punitive damages, respectively. Those convicted include the U.S. government, Obama, former President George W. Bush, Central Command, the CIA, and the Treasury Department. Yeah. Also, weapons manufacturer Lockheed Martin and the American Airlines Group. None of the entities are believed to hold assets under Iranian control that could be seized. So, that's kind of interesting news. And I'll tell you what makes it even more interesting. So our government and some of our former leaders have been found guilty in an Iranian court. They owe lots and lots of money. Seems like that should be news, shouldn't it? Well, I got this story from Al Jazeera, who was reporting on it. But it's funny. Can't find the story anywhere else. It's not in the New York Times. It's not being covered by NBC. Not in the Wall Street Journal. Not on any of the corporate news in America. Seems like it's a big deal, doesn't it? a foreign country has a judgment, found our country guilty of terrorist acts. Apparently it's not news. Because, you know, if a story is not reported on, did it actually happen? You know, that's the question. So that's why I bring you the story, so that perhaps you may know, oh, maybe, just maybe, our corporate news is not telling us everything that's happening in the world. And this is just another example of it. So, yeah, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. And as always, stick around for the after show where I'll be going through your comments. That's after I play the outro music. I will go through all the comments on YouTube and the comments on Rumble as well. So, yeah. But let's get to some less surprising news. Senator Bernie Sanders has said that he will not run for president again and will instead endorse his good friend, President Joe Biden's re-election bid. Sanders, who was Biden's chief rival in the 2020 Democratic primary, also discouraged other high-profile progressive candidates from running. His decision indicates that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party will likely unify behind Biden's bid in 2024, even if they're not particularly excited about him. So this should really come as a no shock to anyone. It's one of those things of the move is in response to criticism from the United States, which had placed Bulgaria on its watch list for failing to combat piracy. The proposed amendments aim to upgrade substantive law to counter computer-related crimes against intellectual property with the goal of protecting authors' right shares and state revenue. The bill targets those who build or maintain an information system or provide a service to information society for the purpose of committing crimes. The draft envisions prison sentences of up to 6 years, but it's not aimed at prosecuting individuals who simply consume pirated material. So again, this is another example of the U.S. who is really in bed with the Motion Picture Association of America. You can look at who has sponsored some of their stuff in the past, and you probably wouldn't need to look very far beyond the current president, right? Yeah. But again, this is the United States putting pressure on foreign countries to do what the U.S. wants them to do and not allow them to choose for themselves what they want. Very interesting. I mean, why should Bulgaria have to comply with United States law? If Bulgaria wants to not respect intellectual property, they should have that right. Because here's the thing, right? China doesn't respect intellectual property whatsoever. The Biden administration sure does give them a pass, don't they? For whatever reason. But Bulgaria, oh, we'll put pressure on Bulgaria. We will not put pressure on China, though. Interesting. Interesting how that works out. So again, this is just one more example of seeing who's putting pressure on our government. That would be Hollywood. And what our government is doing by putting pressure on other countries. Yeah. So if you're in Bulgaria, Probably shouldn't be pirating things. Anyway, now let's get to a silly story. You know, I should have a series just entitled I Live in Clown World. Portland has received a $2 million grant to create a 16-block area in downtown where all deliveries must be made with zero-emission vehicles. The goal is to reduce traffic from heavy trucks in the downtown area, and the vehicles can include electric vans and trucks, cargo bikes, and hydrogen-fueled vehicles. The pilot program will be located near City Hall Plaza and is being funded by the bipartisan infrastructure law. If successful, Portland Bureau of Transportation may be eligible for additional millions of dollars to expand and make this program permanent. So, they're going to take a couple of blocks of downtown and not allow deliveries to those blocks with your regular gas-powered vehicles. I don't know how dumb this is. I don't know. I don't know if this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but it's up there, right? So essentially 16 city blocks. I'm assuming that's like 4 blocks by 4 blocks, right? So you're going to have the delivery trucks stop maximum 2 blocks away from where they need to make their delivery, and then probably cart the stuff or, have something to move it those 2 blocks while they let their big truck sit on the edge of the zone, probably idling and polluting the whole time. Yeah, this is ridiculous. And if the idea is, well, we want them to use different kinds of vehicles, so they're going to have one type of vehicle for everywhere in the country, and these companies are going to get a special vehicle to deliver within these 16 city blocks? What? This is ridiculous. But again, one of the things that I've talked about is often there are certain places that things get tried, that things get tested. Portland is one of those places that seems to get a lot of testing done. It's like, we'll try this out here, see if it works or not, and then we can expand it nationwide. And so I think that that's what this is. This is just another test program that's going to make it a big pain in the ass for anybody in downtown Portland. And in the end, probably nothing will come of it. But they will all, all the people involved will be getting paid 6 figures. And, personally doing very well financially for making it tougher for everyone else in the city center. Oh, man. I don't know. So are the Amazon drivers just going to have to stop and then just walk 2 blocks because they're not able to drive their vehicle into that zone? I don't know. There's probably something I'm not getting about this, but it just sounds dumb to me. But yeah, let's get to some good news. The Be My Eyes app, which connects visually impaired users with volunteers via video calls, is testing a new feature that uses artificial intelligence alongside human volunteers. The AI can describe objects in photos taken by users, helping with everyday tasks such as reading a menu or finding shampoo on a store shelf. Brian Fischler, who is blind and one of the app's 100 beta testers, said the AI was, quote, life-altering and added that it offers privacy compared to calling a loved one or video chatting with a volunteer. The updated app is expected to launch in the coming months. So, I've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence, AI, this year. It seems to be the year of AI, doesn't it? But what an awesome idea for an app. Those people that can't see very well, that are visually impaired, but they're still able to, have a phone, to have an app that is able to help them out. Man, what a great use of technology. What an awesome time to be alive. I like the idea that they have volunteers that you can video chat with, so you can have a volunteer help you out with reading a menu or finding something in a store. But being able to do it just with artificial intelligence, I think it's a great advancement. And I know that there are so many people that are visually impaired or becoming more and more visually impaired that would really find this app to be useful, that could really change how they interact with the world around them. So I think this is good news. Again, the app is called Be My Eyes. That's the name of the app. Again, all stories that I talk about today, I have links to archived, all the stories archived in the description of the video. So you can always go back to my videos, go to the description, and you can click and read the stories for yourself. So that's all I have for you today. Stick around in the after show. I'll be going through all your comments. But I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. All right, well, sometimes YouTube does that. It drops out and you have to restart a new stream. Well, we live and learn. We figure out what's happening. I will try to make some adjustments. I will try to make some adjustments, and I will go through the analytics and figure out what the hell went wrong today. But that's all I have for you today. And yeah, I'll tweak the settings, and hopefully we won't have this in the future. But what can I say? Technology, right? Anyway, I hope you all have a beautiful day. I will chat with you mañana. Peace.